True. Now let's get into now serious politics. Do you think Gashagua has a big impact kwa kudrive kura za Central?
Partly because we have seen in the last few days he's been mobilizing. You know, Gashagua is very smart. People think Gashagua is dumb, but I think the guy is very brilliant.
True. And
Gashagua kishika mic.
I tell people, I tell people that all the time.
If you want to know that Gashagua is smart, look at the way that guy talks. He never misses his words. He knows what he's saying and he knows how to appeal to the emotions, I would say. Ukisikia jamaa anaongelea mulima, he is very passionate about the Mount Kenya.
He said,
and he knows what Gashagua is trying to do is to create a beef between you and the people he represents, not himself, you and the people he represents. So the people, like the narrative right now is that we are taking this thing away from Mount Kenya. We are the issue of shareholding. Gashagua is very brilliant in what he's doing. But of course, there's the danger of, President William Ruto also, they say, after Moi, who was the professor of Kenyan politics, it is now President William Ruto.
Yes.
He's only second to Baba. Only Baba Raila Odinga can beat Ruto. So, the only thing that can destroy Gashagua is if he's impeached, and then now they get somebody else from his very own region. President Ruto will just tell these people, you see, it's here, he removed the other guy, but I just I brought it to the same area.
And then he will channel resources into Central. Now he will say, you see, the guy who mlikuwa mnatetea, ndio ni alikuwa na block by
Absolutely.
I know his chess game is always correct.
It's just so Rigiji really has to be very, very calculative. And then there was the issue of either resigning or waiting to be impeached. I understand where Rigiji is. To some extent, we were saying that he should resign. But do you know, how sure are we that these people are just pushing Rigiji so that he resigns, but in real sense, they didn't want him to go. You see? True. So that is why Rigiji was also waiting. He has to know, watu wanataka niende ile cha ukweli. So that is why he had to fight tooth and nail to the end. You see? But of course, the danger of being impeached now is that you can't come again and
after 10 years, you can only come after 10 years. And you see now political, if you are dead for 10 years politically, coming back is another aspect.
Then look at also the aspect of age. How old is Rigiji right now?
True.
He's almost approaching 60. So 60, if you are this 10 years, he'll come back when he's 70. But now it is a collect president for 7 years, Elisha na Baba. If you need to elect Baba as president who are over 70, we can't elect anybody else who is above 70 years. Now, that is the plan.
Okay. Now, do you think Baba will get the AU seat?
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. But even if Baba doesn't, see ati lazima Baba ipate. Yeah. Baba is used to number 2. So we are hoping and we are really fighting. Personally, I'm trying to call my friends who are presidents in other countries to vote for Baba. If Baba doesn't win, then we'll still welcome him. We didn't send him away. We didn't chase him. But we really hope Baba wins actually on a serious note because Baba has been a statesman. Baba has prioritized this country in all instances. You see, in 2007, while we had the post-election violence, yes. Baba chose to bargain and to swallow his ego and allowed himself to be the prime minister and President Kibaki to be the president, courtesy of the accord that was brought by the arbitrator Kofi Annan.
Yes.
So that shows the kind of love that Baba had for this country.
Yes.
Again in 2018, Baba chose to swallow his pride and had an handshake with President Uhuru Kenyatta. And then last year, was it the last year this year? Now Baba has agreed to form this broad-based government with President William Ruto. You see, Baba did not look for these people. It is these presidents who came to look for Baba. So we have to give it to him. I think Baba has contributed immensely in the fight for democracy in this country. You remember the fight for multi-party democracy, and even in the second liberation, and even in the drafting of this constitution. Some of the people who are now supporting this constitution are the same who opposed it in 2010, while we were promulgating. So we have just to, let's give credit where it's due. Baba has really fought for this country. Let's pray for him. If anything, there's nothing to be gained if the Djibouti guy wins. You even saw the other day, Harambee Stars under 21, we beat Djibouti 4.
Yeah.
So it is the same Djibouti that wants to beat Baba, then this is God. He may end up.
Now let's to the benefit of doubt. Baba amekosa kuwin.
Baba hawezi kosa.
Tuipatie tu
Akikosa.
amekosa kuwin. Do you think he will come and run for president in 2027?
Okay, you know, Baba is 80 years old currently.
Yeah.
There's nothing Baba has not seen in this country.
Yeah.
Baba is right. So if Baba says tomorrow that he sees himself befitting to contest,
Yeah.
why not?
Results imebaki ngapi?
Sasa imebaki nusu. Wacha Baba akuje, let him contest. The only thing that will make Baba not contest is death.
That's the only
Is
thing.
death. Juu bana, there are certain things if were it not for Baba, hatungewahi jua kwa hii Kenya. Kwani kama si Baba tungejua Anglo-Leasing? Hatungewahi jua. Tungejua maneno ya Eurobond? Hatungejua. Na juzi umeona tena Baba amesema that Adani is a reputable company. Sasa wewe ni wise kushinda Baba.
But let's just be factual here. Adani is not whatever we think.
What have I been using if not facts, my brother? It is facts because the same Adani company is the same one that has been doing electricity projects in India. India has a capacity of over 20,000 kilometers lines of transmission lines. Adani is worth $200 billion US dollars. Adani is the same company that has done projects in Australia and even in Israel. So you want to say Kenya is more advanced than countries such as Israel, India, and even Australia? My friend, let us not be emotional about this thing. Yes, let us only deal with facts. Facts alone. The same Adani which has been doing projects in those reputable countries is the same one which has been given this project.
Now the question comes here. I know like Kenyans will disagree with you because the contract states that this the Adani group will be they will be in charge for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
You get? And now after the 30 years they will get some shares.
Oh. I think I agree with you and I agree with most Kenyans that the manner in which this deal has been done.
That's the problem. You see, your problem.
But of course, Raila mentioned very well because I like quoting Baba because Baba has, you know, Baba is a man. So the only reason Baba is the same person that said, you see, in the interest of protecting the reputation of these countries, we cannot reveal everything to the Kenyans. You see, there's some aspect we have to protect because all these companies are also in business. You see, so at the end of the day, there are some NDAs, non-disclosure agreements that we have to sign as a company, and while we are getting into this public-private partnerships. You see, so we have to adhere to the terms and conditions of the contracts. If they say do not reveal this, then it is just fair enough to not reveal that one. And I agree that that one might raise a bit of some questions. But I also have a question to the Kenyans. The same JKA we are talking about has been running losses up to the tune of billions of shillings. How do you want to transform this airport so that it becomes a world-class destination for tourists or for maybe other countries also? That is the discussion we should now be having going forward. That Adani is bad, Adani ni mbaya, as some people put it. What then is the solution? Because JK has been making losses, you see. Yet we have other countries such as the Ethiopian Airlines that have been making profits. What is not making sense? You see. So once we can solve that one, then we can now say, okay, let us now do away with Adani so that we. But in the scenario, we always say that if you're not part of the solution, my brother, you are definitely part of the problem. You see. So going forward, and that is the challenge I also have to put to my fellow Gen Zs or my fellow leaders outside there. The discussions we should be having going forward are solution-oriented. We stop whining and complaining and say, this is a problem. I propose the following solutions. Not we keep on highlighting problems. Moas is highlighting this problem. I am highlighting this other one. Do we have a country there?
And now, when it comes to the political systems in Kenya, do you think, because most people who are anti-government, they're saying that the political systems in Kenya are wrong and the political manners are wrong. Do you think that us as Gen Zs who are coming up, do you think at some point we will ever change the country into a very nice political environment where people can compete with equal credentials and we don't have to use millions of shillings to campaign so that we can get votes? Do you think we'll ever reach there?
I think Gen Zs are the most corrupt people. Gen Zs ndio wana corrupt sana. Hata you see most Gen Zs are only complaining because they have not gotten the opportunity. That is the only challenge. Hata wewe sahi mwas, I meet so many of them and I challenge them, I tell them, are you corrupt? They say, mimi na nipate nafasi bro. Mimi ndaiba bana. Namuuliza utaiba kama ngapi hivi? Mimi na sijui ndaiba ngapi lakini. So most of us it is just the opportunity that hatujafanya nini? Hatujapata. But I always say the problem inaanzanga from the morals. How are you raised at the family level? What we need to instill in our families, the basic unit, is integrity. We have to teach our children how to be content.
Yes.
We have to teach our children hard work.
Yes.
We also have to teach our children to share, compassion, you see. So that hizi qualities zenye ukigrow nazo, it becomes easier to hold public office, you see. But the current crop of young people, you know, sisi Gen Zs, we are not after earning money. We say I'm making money. So we need to stop making money and start earning money. You see, that is number one. Number two, we have commercialized our politics. And there's an act that was brought by IBC that sought to put limits as to the amount of money you can use for campaigns.
Yes.
But the challenge now comes, how do we enforce the law?
Yes.
How do you track, for instance, how much money I used for my campaigns?
Yeah.
You may have capped it at 20 million shilling. The other day you had Amos Mwago, member of parliament for Starehe, saying that he used 60 million to campaign in Starehe constituency. Yeah. So when we make our politics too expensive, our politics has become too profitable. How then do we ensure that men of integrity, men and women of integrity are sent to these positions of power? It becomes extremely difficult. You may be integral, but because you lack the resources, you become disadvantaged. Huwezi assign to hizo positions. Sahi ndukuwe MCA here in Nairobi because I'm somebody who has contested. Huwezi pata na less than 5M.
Lazima
5 at the bare minimum 5 million because number one bana, you have to go to the party ufanye nominations. Ndio uchaguliwe hii Kenya, probably the two major parties ndio lazima uende contest. Hapo competition is very stiff. Ndio upewe hata ticket. Hapo ushatumia karibu mita ngapi? Mbili. There are some instances you even win the nominations, but ndio upewe ticket bado, you have to bribe somebody else. You see? So where does this leave somebody mwenye you have no told relatives, you don't know anybody kwa party, you see? So number one, we have to make our politics less profitable. And someone said that our politicians are amongst the highest paid in the world.
True.
Not even in Africa, in the world.
True.
Because I was looking at it the other time, member of parliament has a basic salary of 710, kuna mileage allowance capped at around 330, kuna fuel, kuna car maintenance ya 300 and something, kuna inpatient na outpatient insurances, kuna mortgage loans zenye wako nazo, kuna airtime allowance wako nayo around 25k, kuna house allowance. These people are given sitting allowance. They are given money yani kufanya kazi yao. Ni kama mwalimu pia anapewa teaching allowance. You see? So until we make our politics less profitable, my brother, it will continue attracting the wrong people. Then the other issue is we have to strengthen our institutions. How?
True.
IBC. You look at IBC. How did IBC clear some of the people we see in parliament are of questionable characters?
Very.
Somebody even did Form 4 before doing Class 8. How did IBC clear such a character? So we have to strengthen the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. They have powers to do investigate.
Yes.
Wakishakupata when you corrupt, what else? They refer you to someone else. The someone else they refer you to is bribed. So we also have to give commissions such as the EACC powers to prosecute. Otherwise, they shall remain toothless dogs. You see. So for me, number one is to strengthen our institutions. Then number two, make politics less profitable.
Yes.
If somebody knew, like our doctors, how much do our doctors earn? Very few doctors will earn maybe 400 plus.
Yes.
But you see a scenario whereby a member of parliament is earning, these people, nobody earns less than $1 million.
Yes.
Just for the record. Even the senators, they earn millions and millions. And even right now, there's a bill in Senate where they also want to have their own CDF. Remember, Supreme Court...
But the work is to oversight.
Yes. But they're saying the same oversight is the same work being done by parliament. Yes. But parliament has their CDF. So how come sisi wenye tuna oversight, because Senate is to oversight the county government. How come sisi hatuna CDF yetu? That is the question they are asking. Right now, there is another bill in Parliament about robotics and artificial intelligence. There are certain members of Parliament who don't have the wherewithal.
We know them.
Yeah,
we know
they
them.
don't have the wherewithal to even engage. Somebody doesn't even know what a robot is. You see? So
and now you combine robotics plus artificial intelligence.
So the challenge to the young people now is the time. Now is the time to get into politics and to make sure you chase the crooks out of politics.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the narrative, politics is a dirty game. Who made it dirty? It is not a dirty game. If anything, it is through politics that we get our leaders. The president is a political leader. Even God himself was political. Even the Israelites had how many kingdoms? How many tribes? See, they had 12 tribes. What do you think? I don't read the Bible. So, at the end of the day, politics is very critical.
Yeah.
It's a very
it's part of our lives.
If we get it wrong politically, we can never get it right anywhere.
True.
Yeah, so we have to ensure when you look at developed countries such as China, North Korea, South Korea, their presidents are experts. Somebody is a physicist, somebody is an economist, somebody is a scientist, you see. And that is why you had South Korea, they make for us these microchips that we use to make our phones.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm very sure everybody, even you right now, you have your own smartphone over here.
Yes.
But there's a country making that. Kenya, we can't even make toothpick.
We have to import.
We import toothpick. Kuni. So we have a long way to go. But I think kuna nuru gizani. The young people, they have got potential, and we have got the zeal, the zest, the vigor. So I think let's give them time. Let's give ourselves time. We are just 67. Is it 60 what? We're just roughly 60 years past independence. We also can't compete with countries that have gone around 300 years of civilization.
Yes.
Let us also be
patient.
Yeah.
But then we can't be patient doing nothing. We have to be
absolutely
patient pushing for
my
reforms and change. Now, on to this is my last as you give your parting shot. Now, at what point do you think that this government will ever listen to what the common mwananchi is saying? Because the common mwananchi is very clear that we are offended by your leadership. We don't like where you're taking us as a country. Juzi uliona statistics wakisema 99.7% of Kenyans have less than 500,000 in them. And you see, it's so sad. It's so sad ruling a poor country. It's so sad. And do you think that this government will ever have that point where they come to realization that we need to change whatever we are doing, we need to listen to the people? Do you think it will ever come to that point?
Two things. One, we have to live within the confines of the Constitution. Number two, we have to live within our means. In the sense that, what does the Constitution say about electing our leaders? The best form of democracy is to have an informed electorate.
Yes.
As long as we still have very low literacy levels, what percentage of our population has degree holders? Less than 5%. So this thing go hand in hand. And somebody said that leaders are a representation of the people. So when you have corrupt leaders, it means the people are also corrupt. And for me, that is always the starting point. We have to start by ourselves. We are the same people who elect these people into parliament. I'm sure we have been confronted not once or twice by leaders of credible leaders, but we always choose the leader that greases us. Even in campus politics, even while I was contesting, if I did not give those comrades Merenda back then, they could have voted me, you see. So, sisi wenyewe ni corrupt. So, it has to start from ourselves. Let us say that in as much as I may receive something from this guy, I am still sober enough to make a decision between this guy and this. I think Gen Zs to some extent achieved what we are trying to talk about on the 25th of June, when the president made those remarks and called the Gen Zs criminals
yes.
And called that was an act of treason. At that particular moment in time, I remember the president even called for a Twitter space, and people said, no, we can't come to you. You have to come to us. The president had to come. But as I said earlier on, we forget very fast. So we have allowed the political class time to go and regroup. What has happened right now is that they have already regrouped and they have regained the tools of governance. They had lost it. And actually on the 25th, what happened on the 25th that actually, it like in some way, it dissolved that parliament. You see, for me, even the parliament we have right now, it has got very little legitimacy. That was the moment when the government could have listened to the people. It is going to be very difficult to have such a defining moment, another defining moment like the one we had on the 25th. It is going to take a lot of mobilization, a lot of courage, a lot of rage, which I do not see in the foreseeable future. But of course, all is not lost. We just have to let's prepare for the next electioneering period and make sure we vote the right leaders. Let us also be responsible citizens. Not that every time we are blaming leaders that we have elected. Yeah, so there's still hope, but I want to say that the opportunity we had on the 25th of June is not an easy one to come by. It may take a very long period to come by such another opportunity. But I liked and I applaud what the Gen Zs did. And I say that if we continue with the same spirit of mobilization and of brotherhood, we are going to make this country great. Yeah.
True. Now give us your parting shot as we close.
Mine would be to appreciate you first of all for having me today. It is an honor to be here and also to discuss and to air my views about the state of the nation generally. Yeah. Mine, the other thing would be to encourage my fellow Gen Zs out there is that we are heavily endowed in terms of human resource. Let us grab this opportunity to make this country great by offering ourselves for elective positions, by voting for the right leaders, and by holding our leaders to account. Yes. Then lastly also is to seek for God's intervention, because perhaps maybe these are times of the end.
True.
And that is why we are contending with these problems. True. But mine will be to encourage us, especially to all young people. You are never too young to lead. And then also to the ladies, also a challenge to them. The last time I was contesting, we didn't have a lady in contesting for the MCA position where I was contesting. We were 13 candidates, there was no lady. And I think I was the youngest. So also a challenge to them, let us take these leadership positions so that we stand out and be that leader we have always dreamed. You know, some of the times you normally say, oh, you should have done this, should have done. Why don't you offer yourself to do that one? Yes. Because the best way to do something is to do it yourself. So thank you so much. I'm Tony Blair Onyango, and may God bless you all.
Thank you so much. People of the internet, my good people, that was an episode, it's Burudani 14. It was very hot, very informative. If you've gotten something, let's take it to heart and let's keep it in our minds that we need to change this country for the better, and it's only us who can do it. We are talking about the future. The future, most of the leaders that we have right now won't be there in the future. It's only us who can determine it. So thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, like, and comment. Give us your feedback. We'll appreciate. Adios. True.